and there will be bundles. Each kit comes with a tinted ambit and contour, which is an extreme wear lip liner in the perfect shade to match. There will absolutely be a bundle with all 6 shades, so let me take you through each color. First, we have my favorite, Vanilla Latte and Dash of Cinnamon. These are a very long wear lip liner, transfer proof, and this is like the perfect nude beige. Vanilla Latte is a creamy, warm nude. These are unlike typical lip treatments because they're not sheer. Look at the pigment, and this is such a gorgeous color. It's super glossy, comfortable, not stringy. If you like a pale nude like me, Vanilla Latte and Dash of Cinnamon.
You guys, MIKAYLA Nogueira is in the middle of a complete mess right now, and the internet cannot agree on what actually happened. Her newest product launch has turned into a full-on controversy, and fans are practically split into 2 camps, arguing over whether she misled people or if everyone is just overreacting. And to make things even wilder, she deleted the promo video. Not privated, not archived. Deleted. That alone has everybody raising their eyebrows. People are calling her out left and right, accusing her of exaggerating the product's performance, and the comment sections are an absolute battlefield. So buckle in, because we're breaking down every angle of this. The claims, the customer reactions, the receipts, and why this situation blew up so fast.
Picked up the 2 most popular shades from MIKAYLA's website. First, I wanted to try on Strawberry Shortcake with Angel Cake. I could immediately tell the texture of the lip liner is on the waxier side. When you first apply it, it goes on sheer, but you can slowly build up the color, which is not a bad thing. I think it's just personal preference. But one thing that I do like about it is that it's transfer proof. A lot of people have been saying that the lip ampules are very sticky. So I first applied a light layer and I didn't run into that issue. But I went in again and applied a little bit more, and unfortunately it is very sticky. Like you can see in the video, it's very strong. Wanted to check again if this lip ampule did the same thing as the first one. So I applied a light layer and it was perfectly fine, not sticky at all, and then went in with a little bit more, and that's when it got stringy again. So I think if you want these to work, you really have to apply a light layer. But I really do like the lip liner.
MIKAYLA's latest drop has everyone talking. But to really understand why this blew up, you need the backstory. Earlier this year, back in March, she launched POV Beauty, which stands for point of view. And the funny thing is, it didn't start with makeup at all. The brand originally focused entirely on skin prep. Hydrating balms, serums, moisturizers, primers, all the stuff you use before makeup. People actually liked the lineup too, especially that lip balm that went viral for being surprisingly good. The whole vibe was prep your canvas, and honestly, it was a pretty smart niche considering most brands skip that category. Fast forward to November, and this is where everything shifts. MIKAYLA finally moved into actual cosmetics with the release of the Amp Lip Kits. Each duo includes 2 pieces, the Contour Lip Liner and a tinted ampule called Amp It. She launched 6 shade combos with dessert-themed names: Strawberry Shortcake, Toasted Marshmallow, Plum Cider, Vanilla Latte. Basically, very cute, very MIKAYLA-coded, very aesthetically curated. But what really kicked off the drama were the claims she made while promoting them. MIKAYLA emphasized that these ampules were buildable. Like, she repeated that word so many times you couldn't miss it. She also kept insisting they were not sticky and not stringy at all, distancing them from other glossy lip formulas that can get goopy fast. The original price tag was $42 for the duo, which had a lot of people side-eyeing because that's steep for a new brand. They later dropped the price to $34, but even then, it's still a gamble if you've never tried the formula.
Obviously, you're going to need to use a lot of this if you want a bunch of color. Nothing sticking. Now let's put on 800 layers. When you put on a whole fucking tube of something sticky, it's gonna do that. Be so for real.
The real chaos started once customers got their orders and began testing the lip kits for themselves. Immediately, people were like, hold on, this isn't matching what MIKAYLA said. Instead of that smooth, glossy finish she promised, a ton of buyers were seeing the exact opposite. The product was showing visible strings when they opened their lips, like actual tacky strands of gloss stretching between the top and bottom lip. Others were sharing photos of patchiness, clumping, and uneven texture. Basically, the formula wasn't behaving the way the promo video made it look. But here's the twist. Not everyone had the same experience. a surprising number of creators said their kits worked perfectly fine and that they weren't getting any stringiness at all. And that is what ignited the debate. Were people over-applying? Was it just user error? Or did MIKAYLA oversell a formula that only works under specific conditions? One creator even did a whole experiment, adding layers one by one to see when it would start getting sticky. Her results were like, layer 1, good. Layer 2, still okay. Layer 3, borderline. And she didn't see major issues until layer 6. She defended MIKAYLA by saying, any gloss will look bad if you cake it on. But other reviewers pushed back, arguing that MIKAYLA herself applied multiple thick layers in her promo without any stringiness at all. If she can stack it on and get a flawless result, why can't customers replicate it? And honestly, that's a valid question.
Toasted marshmallow, sticky, extremely hydrating. You can do a sheer, gorgeous wash of color like this. None of that stringy, sticky residue. Or the reason it's called Amp It is because you can amp this up and get even more pigment. This is easily one of the prettiest shades. Now you have even more color. Still none of that stringy, sticky residue.
At the center of this whole argument is one word MIKAYLA heavily leaned on: buildable. In her promo video, she didn't just mention it, she showcased it. She demonstrated a sheer wash of color, then layered more product to intensify the pigment, all while claiming there was still zero tackiness or residue. That was a major selling point. The whole Amp It name is literally based on the idea that you can layer it up safely. Even the POV Beauty website reinforces this idea. Their instructions suggest increasing saturation by filling in more with the liner before applying the ampule, basically encouraging users to layer both products. So customers weren't doing anything wild, they were following the exact steps MIKAYLA and the brand laid out. Because of that, people started feeling misled when their attempts to build the product didn't match what she showed. Comments were everywhere saying things like, as soon as I apply a thin second layer, the strings start. Or, she called these full pigment glosses, so of course people are going to try to build them like she did. For them, the issue wasn't misuse, it was that the product didn't deliver on its own promise. On the flip side, supporters jumped in to defend her. Some argue that the gloss performs best when used sparingly, and that overloading any formula will cause issues. One creator even filmed a whole rant saying, mine isn't sticky at all. What are you guys doing to make it sticky? I'd call her out if it sucked, but it's working fine for me. And that right there is why the debate hasn't settled.
Okay, I'm gonna add a second. Look at the length. Do you see that? I am speechless. And I'm not sure anyone's gonna ever be able to compete with this mascara.
But this right here is what the people are having a problem with. They're saying it's sticky and it's inconsistent. Let me see if it's that bad. I didn't really care for Amp It. I really just wanted the liner. But I'm gonna just see what y'all mad about. It's not sticky for me. What are y'all doing to make it sticky? Because it's not doing that for me. Y'all know I'd clock her if I have to, but like...
Now this is the moment where everything went from drama to something feels off. MIKAYLA actually removed the original promo video, the same one where she demonstrated the lip ampule, layered it up, and insisted it stayed completely non-stringy. Not archived, not hidden, fully deleted. And people noticed immediately, especially because so many reviewers had been referencing that exact video in their critiques. The deletion set off alarms across TikTok and Reddit. Fans were asking, if the product works the way she said, why erase the proof? And honestly, that's a fair question. If anything, you'd expect her to double down, maybe post a follow-up explaining application tips, or clarifying what people might be doing wrong. But wiping the video entirely? That makes it look like she wanted to distance herself from her own claims. To a lot of viewers, it came across as damage control rather than transparency. It gave this vibe of, let me quietly remove the evidence before this blows up even more. And people weren't shy about calling that out as suspicious, even borderline misleading, especially considering the backlash already forming around the formula. And let's be real, this isn't MIKAYLA's first time facing accusations of exaggerating product performance. Everyone remembers Lashgate, when people pointed out she seemed to be wearing false lashes in a mascara promo without disclosing it. That controversy had the beauty community dissecting every frame of her video. So the fact she's in hot water again over product claims? Yeah, people are connecting the dots.
Strawberry shortcake. I already used this in the clear version and I loved it. So you don't need that much. That's probably why it's gooping on, but we will see for ourselves. Ooh, it smells good. A little more. Are you guys kidding me? No stringiness, it's not goopy. Are we okay? Like genuinely, if it was goopy and it looked bad, I was ready to sit here and be like, wow, yeah, you guys were right. Really? How much are you guys applying? I guarantee I could even put a little more and it would be fine. A little more. Oh my god. I love these lip kits. I love this color. Whoever's saying they're goopy and bad, you're just crazy.
When you look across the reviews, one thing becomes super clear. Everyone seems to agree that the lip liners are the strongest part of the whole launch. The contoured pencils are getting consistent praise. People say they glide on smoothly, they don't smudge, and they actually last. Even creators who didn't enjoy the glosses still admitted the liners were solid. But the Ampit ampules? That's where everything gets messy. Even the reviewers trying to be generous were saying variations of the same thing. It works, as long as you only use one thin layer. The second someone tries to increase the opacity or replicate that buildable look MIKAYLA demonstrated, the complaints start. And that's the whole issue. A buildable product that can't be built up kind of defeats its own purpose. To be fair, some people genuinely love the ampules and insist they had zero issues. And I believe them. Different lip textures, climates, and application styles can absolutely change how a formula behaves. But when a large chunk of customers report the same stringiness and stickiness, that's no longer user error. That's a formulation pattern. Another common critique is the price point. Even people who enjoyed the product were saying things like, "It's cute, but I've used similar glosses for less money." When your new brand is asking customers to spend $34 and originally $42, expectations are naturally higher. And when the product doesn't match the marketing, people feel like their trust was taken advantage of. That's why so many are upset. Not just because the gloss was sticky for them, but because they expected it to perform exactly the way MIKAYLA herself showcased it on camera.
When you put it on, that's about how much I used. If I want to add a little bit more to the top, gorgeous. No stickiness. Now, watch this. Okay, look at that. I put like an unnecessary amount on, and that's when you get the stickiness.
What makes all of this even more intense is the fact that MIKAYLA isn't just any influencer. She's someone who built her entire platform on honesty and straightforward product reviews. For years, her followers have trusted her judgment because she positioned herself as the girl who would tell it like it is, even when it wasn't flattering. So when her own product doesn't live up to the claims she made, it hits a little harder than your average beauty launch gone wrong. And the bigger concern people keep bringing up is trust. If her own brand isn't performing the way she advertised it, what does that mean for the reviews she does on other products? It's not that she intentionally sold something bad, it's very possible these glosses work beautifully for her personally. But there's a huge difference between a formula that works for one person and a formula that works consistently across thousands. The repeated reports of the same issues, the stringiness, the stickiness when layered, the inability to build without problems, point to a real pattern. And that's where the frustration is coming from. Because when you heavily market something as buildable and smooth, and the average customer can't replicate that experience, the claims start to feel misleading whether you meant them to be or not. Launching a cosmetic brand is tough, and formulation challenges are real. But when your brand identity is rooted in being relatable and trustworthy, you have to be extra careful about what you promise and how you demonstrate it. That's the part people feel let down by the most.
There's no goopiness going on, but of course, if you're going to layer on this lip balm to get maximum pigment, of course she's gonna be goopy.
So where do things stand now? Honestly, this launch has left the internet completely split. Some people are convinced the gloss works perfectly as long as you're light-handed. Others say they genuinely enjoy it and don't understand the complaints at all. But then there's a huge portion of buyers who feel misled, and their frustration is completely valid given the claims that were made. What really concerns people is MIKAYLA's response, or the lack of one. Removing the promo video without offering any clarification feels like the wrong move. If the issue is application technique, show the proper method. If people are using too much, demonstrate the ideal amount. But choosing silence and deleting evidence just makes everything feel more suspicious and leaves customers with unanswered questions. Now, to be fair, creating a cosmetic line is incredibly complicated. Getting a formula to work consistently across different lips, climates, and routines is not easy. I'm not here to say her entire brand is doomed or that the product is universally bad. Clearly, some people like it. But it's also clear that more thorough testing could have caught these issues before launch, especially for a product marketed so heavily on being buildable. At the end of the day, if you're thinking about buying the kits, do your homework. Watch reviews, compare experiences, and maybe hold off until MIKAYLA actually addresses the controversy head-on. $34 is a lot to risk on something that may or may not behave the way it was advertised to.
This is the first layer, which added no hydration. Okay, and this is what it looks like with 2 layers, which is more than enough. Layer 6 for me to get that goopiness. I don't need this much product. This is after layer 1. There's no goopiness, no gloppiness.
And that wraps up everything going on with MIKAYLA and the POV Beauty lip kit situation. The drama, the confusion, the mixed reactions, all of it. I really want to hear what you guys think about this whole mess. Have any of you tried the kits yourself? Did you get that stringy texture everyone's talking about, or did they work fine for you? Do you think this counts as false advertising, or is this just a case of people applying the product incorrectly? Seriously, don't hold back. This channel is a place where we can talk honestly about the beauty community without judgment, so drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm always reading what you guys say, and I love hearing different perspectives, especially when the internet is this divided. And if you found this deep dive helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're always talking about the biggest beauty stories and influencer drama, so you'll definitely want to stick around. Thank you so much for watching. It truly means the world. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!